Hello and welcome to How to Sell to Humans, the show all about helping people with a passion to sell. My name is Timothy Ball. I'm a working sales and marketing professional, and this show is all about looking at, well, what really works today in sales and marketing. We live in an ever-changing world. New technologies, new business practices are changing every day. Cryptocurrencies, new ways of working, internationalization, a whole range of different things are challenging us, how we work and operate. What were once the traditional 20-30 year jobs of the past are transforming, and that means there are challenges as well as opportunities. In sales and marketing, this is also impacting us in terms of how we approach people. It's also affecting how we go about changing things. There's a great book, and today's not going to be a book review per se, but a great book called Choose Yourself by a gentleman called James Altucher, who's a very, very smart entrepreneur, writer, thinker, very, very smart guy. And today's not going to be a book review per se, but I want to focus on one of the big things he talks about. And that is about becoming an ideas machine. Now, ideas, we can get very precious about our ideas. We come up with an idea, we sink our thoughts into it. We spend loads and loads of time. It might be a terrible idea. James Altucher's approach is, instead of thinking about one idea, come up with 10. You're stuck for 10, come up with 20. And by this approach, you become an ideas machine. He shares some examples in the book about, I think there's a couple of big advertising organisations where they were really stumped on how to do, say, write certain copy for certain adverts. So one of the things they really focused upon was, well, if we're really stuck, let's just throw everything and just come up with like 10, 20, 30 ideas. Now, I've got an app on my phone that helps me with this. It generates a number of like suggested things, like think about a new business you could start in your garage, something like that. So I use this app as a way of helping really focus and saying, okay, so come up with those ideas and it'll throw things at me. But the whole purpose of it is to help you with your innovation, your adaptability. So when you do get new things thrown at you, you've got the capability to then go and say, okay, well, we're hit by this. How can we work around it? For me and what I'm doing, I'm often up against some of the major players. So I'm often thinking about, well, how can I outthink and how can I outwork some of these larger, more established players in the market? How can I come to dominate that market when I maybe don't have a multi-million-pound marketing budget? I maybe have to sort of do a lot of things, learn a lot of stuff on the go. So becoming an ideas machine is all about having that flexibility. So when you're in a sale, when you're doing your marketing, being able to pull upon that really quickly. Now, I did something like this with a workshop I did with a couple of friends of mine of a weekend a couple of weeks ago. And we just, friends with a couple of fellow businessmen, and we sort of sat there and said, okay, so we need to think about new business ideas. So we just said, let's do 10. We came up with a whole 10. Some were kind of nuts. I think one was Uber for ice cream, which will probably be taken now. But out of it, we came up with some amazing ideas about combining different business ideas together. Things that you might not necessarily think immediately could be that crucial. I mean, this is something that James Altucher describes as idea sex. So you basically take one idea here, you take another idea here, and then you combine them. You maybe put them together. So I can think of many things off the top of my head, but you might want to say, we combine. They've really caught me on the spot here. You can combine, okay, this particular type of service in this particular industry, and say, well, why doesn't this work in there? So we actually got so much into this. Once we started actually discussing and talking as a group, the ideas just began flowing. Before you know it, we ran out of 10 and we were into 20. And out of that, I think one or two of those are really good. So don't be too precious about the ideas you might generate through this, but recognize that some of them will probably be really, really good. And if you're writing down these ideas every day, say you do this every single day of a year, so regular year, 365 days, 10 ideas a day, by the end of the year you would have generated 3,650 ideas. Imagine if just a handful of those are ideas that you could then turn into a new approach to marketing, maybe a new business, maybe a new way of approaching, say, social selling. Maybe it's new ideas for articles you're going to put on LinkedIn. Maybe it's new ideas for videos you're going to share on a popular video sharing site. So take what James Altucher says seriously. Work on becoming an ideas machine, whether it be working things on paper. I've got a great app on my phone I use, or another approach, whether it's working by yourself or whether it's working with other people. Develop your brain into an ideas machine today. It will pay off in ways you can't even begin to imagine. For now, really appreciate you guys watching. Do go get Choose Yourself by James Altucher, fantastic book. In the meantime, do subscribe to my channel. It's How to Sell to Humans. You can click there to subscribe. And there's also a bell symbol as well, which you can click so you get notified of any upcoming new videos. Thanks very much for watching, and as always, happy selling. Alright, bye for now.